Let's go. I'm going to bring up your first colleague right now. Make a lot of noise for battle-hardened war hero, Josh Giordano.
Nice. I like how quickly you guys gave up on me, right? You built it up. He's like, this guy, he's a war hero. And then I walked up, you were like, no, that's a Star Wars. Like, Thank you for that, though. I did do the Army thing. I went to Afghanistan in 2011. It's a good time. Yeah. You guys ever been there at all? No? I guess only out of town. No, a weird thing they do though when you go out there, they'll tell you, they do this in-briefing, right? They just tell you about the place. So they have like opium growing everywhere. And I remember in our in-briefing, they're like, hey, so there's third country nationals that work here and they chew this thing they call a cap. It's green, it's like a pellet, do not chew it. It's opium. I'm like, all right, no problem. Then one of my friends was like, what is it exactly? And they're like, oh, so what they do is they take the little opium seeds, right? And they feed it to the goats, and the goat has like multiple stomachs, and it processes it, and then they poop that out, and they chew on that. And I was like, oh, I feel like you could have just said it was poop. I didn't need to know the other, like the opium. I was good with poop. That's fine with me. I am a dad. I know that seems surprising because it looks like I haven't hit puberty, but I'm a dad. You can tell too because this morning I washed my trash cans. Yeah, that's and it's not like a rinse. Like I got them and scrubbed it. I was like, these trash men are gonna be so appreciative. They're gonna like this. No, but I have kids. One thing I hate like about kids, like anyone here ever have to raise kids? I assume so, right? Like you have to do potty training. Potty training is terrible. Hate it. I had a daughter first. I have 2 kids. When you have a girl, girls are amazing. Girls are intelligent. Like with her, we put her in underwear and we were like, you don't pee or poop in your pants anymore. And she was like, got it. My son did not feel the same way. That little boy, he would literally crap his pants and just give no shit about it. I'll be sitting on the couch just like, what is that? And I look over, he's looking at me. It's me. Clean me. So terrible. And I hate that like when we go out in public, we have to ask him. Like we'll go to Target, we're walking in and I'll turn around and be like, hey, do you need to go pee-pee? And he always looks up, nah, I don't. You know, like how a liar does? I'm always like, I don't believe you, and also Target has their bathroom like in the front of the store, so we'll go now. Immediately he's whining, crying, I sit him down, he's still crying, no pee-pee, no! And I got like all hard, right? I got in my dad mode, and I was like, look, you don't make decisions, I do. So you're not getting up from this toilet till you go. So you better just go. And he looked at me, then he looked over at the door, and he went, help! Help! That's when I realized he's smarter than me. Because as much as I want him to use that toilet, I don't want to be a registered sex offender. So touche, potty training's over now, right? Like I said, I've got a daughter, so when you have kids, like you make a lot of little decisions, right? One of my things for my daughter, I was like, I don't want her to have baby dolls. I don't like them. They're weird, and on a feminist standpoint, kind of pushes like motherhood on her. I was like, don't want them. My sister-in-law didn't agree, so she got her a baby doll. I see her playing with it at home. I'm not a jerk. I'm not gonna like pick it up and throw it away in front of her like, yeah, that's where babies go, the trash. We're pro-choice in this household. So I see her playing, I'm like, I'll play along. I was like, so what's your baby's name? And she said, this isn't my baby. You see, her mother died. And I'm just taking care of her now. And I was like, wow, that's so creative, honey. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I don't know what kind of crazy stuff goes with that. I'm locking the door tonight. I feel like that's one of those things, like years from now, you know, Jimmy McMurrin, his wife is going to be watching something and he's going to see my face on there just like, at the time it didn't seem weird. Love it though. We had to do the distance learning last year. Anyone have to do that? Yeah. It's terrible, right? When they were like, oh, hey parents, you're around your kids all the time. How about you join in? I was like, no, not going to. There was only one thing I genuinely like about the distance learning. They would do this reading group. And my daughter, some would say she's like a little version of me. I'd say she's a little girl version of me, but whatever. We're both very mean-spirited. And there was this kid in her reading group named Jonathan, and he did not know how to read. And we thought it was so funny. Like, he would be sitting there, she would call me over, she's like, Dad, look. She'd mute it, and she's like, listen. And he's sitting there, and teacher just gets up. She's like, it's cat. But then, they go back to school, right? She has her first day of school. I come home, and I see her, and I was like, oh, how was school? She's like, it was great. Met all my friends. I'm like, oh, how was that little idiot Jonathan? And she was like, don't talk about Jonathan like that. I was like, what the? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, wait, that's like our thing. And she's like, I met Jonathan today. And Jonathan is handsome. Like any father, I said to her, Jonathan doesn't know how to read. And she said, that's okay, because I love him, I'll take care of him. And I was like, I feel like we should homeschool you, because your teenage years are going to be messed up now. It's, not looking forward to any of that. Terrible. You guys see the Space Jam movie at all? The new one? Okay. Do you have HBO, or you just didn't want to watch it? Okay. It was terrible. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I watched it, right? I've got kids. Little thing, it did not occur to me watching it. Immediately my kids, they were like, who's this guy? And I'm like, LeBron James? Like, he's like the most famous basketball player right now. And my daughter, she was like, I don't know. Like, whatever. Spoiler alert, when it hits halftime in the game, they're down by 1,000 points because this movie makes no sense. And my daughter turned to me and she was like, I guess he's not that good. Yeah. She definitely got me on that one. I know we're like, I know Jimmy mentioned like the whole mask stuff, right? Like we're all kind of done with doing all this stuff, right? The pandemic and all that. One thing I do hate though is people are always like, when are we gonna get back to normal? And I'm just like, we're never getting back to normal. You know how I know that? I work as security on the strip because things don't make sense. And like, do you know how many people come to town now with their dog on vacation to Las Vegas? It's absurd. Like, I've never been on a cocaine bender and thought, you know who would be good right now? Rover. I feel like he would like this. And you know what I hate is I've gotten so jaded, I've hit a point where I know what a dog is like on cocaine. And I get called to it all the time. They're like, it's never them. And they're like, I think housekeeping left it in the room. I'm just like, oh, okay, a bump. They left a bump for you. But they're like, what do we do? And I'm always like, look, man, all you can do is let him ride it out. Maybe hit the club. I'm pretty sure he's down for that. I have a dog at home. I love my dog, but then he does this thing, because I'm a dad, he likes to dig up the yard. I hate that stuff. You guys ever have to deal with anything like that? Yeah, my friend told me that when dogs dig up the yard, it's because they're showing that they're happy. And all it makes me wish is that he was depressed. It's like, why does he get to have a good life? So, I want to tell you I'm not very good with cars, if that's not, doesn't seem obvious to you. Not very good with it. A little while ago, I couldn't get my car to start, so I did the only thing I could think of. I called my father-in-law, because, he's both a man and he's Mexican, so it's like in his blood, right? And he said to me, he's like, Josh, you're across town, so it's going to take me a while if you don't mind waiting. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. I'm waiting, and this guy stops, and he sees me, and he's like, do you need some help? I was like, thank you, yes. Because if my father-in-law doesn't have to know that, this is better, right? So he gets out, and we walk over to the front of the car, right? Where the engine is. I want to say front trunk, but I know that's not it. It doesn't matter. We're looking in. And he says to me, he's like, it can't be your battery, your lights are turning on. I was like, that's what I was thinking. Honestly, I was like, I don't even know what kind of batteries this car takes. AA or something. But he says, he's like, if you don't mind, I'm gonna get in the driver's seat. I'm like, oh, okay. He gets in, immediately looks annoyed. And I already know, I'm like, oh no, it's easy. And he sticks his head out and he goes, so you know you can't start the car and drive, right? Yeah. But he said it to me like I was an idiot. So of course I was like, of course I know that. And he's like, then why are you wasting my time? Full disclosure, I'm not quick on my feet. So I just said the first thing I could think of. I looked at him, then I looked over at everyone else in the parking lot. And I was just like, help! Help! I know my name, it sounds kind of like pizza, right? Because it's Italian, but I'm also half Asian. And I hate the way people think of you when you're half Asian, right? Like, one thing is, whenever I drive, people always criticize me. Because, like, if I hit the brakes too hard, or for instance, I don't like to use my turn signals, because I like it to be a surprise for everyone when I merge over, right? People always say the same thing. They're like, ugh, Asian drivers, they're the worst. And I'm just like, that's so ignorant and racist. Like, why can't I just be a bad driver because I'm a bad driver the way my mom taught me to drive, right? But a little while ago, I got in a car accident on the freeway. I was following a guy too close in a hurry because, I needed to get somewhere for no reason. And he jumped out of the way. There was a car stopped. I could not stop. So I slammed right into the back of him. Engine drops out. Car rolls to a stop. I'm sitting there shocked. This guy gets out, comes over to my driver's side and just starts yelling at me, just screaming at me. And he's like, you're an idiot. I'm just, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then he sees my daughter in the back and he's like, oh, you don't care about her? You don't care about her life? And I just turned and I was like, oh, her? That's not my daughter. See, like, her mother died. And I was taking care of her. All right, guys, thank you so much.